Buongiorno studenti! Today we're tackling a common challenge for English speakers learning Italian. Where do you put your adjectives? Well, don't worry, I will break it down into simple, easy to follow rules that will help you speak Italian immediately and more confidently. But before we dive in, if you're serious about improving your Italian, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also turn on notifications. This way, you will never miss a lesson that could boost your Italian skills. Ok, iniziamo. Let's begin. In Italian, adjective placement is a bit different from English. Here's the general rule. Most descriptive adjectives in Italian come after the noun they modify. So this is different from English, where adjectives usually come before the noun. Now, if words like adjectives, nouns sound like some kind of weird jargon to you, no worries. First of all, this is normal as we are diving into grammar and specifically Italian grammar. And most important, I have a dedicated video where I go over these words and what they mean. So I highly recommend that you also watch that video to get the best out of this one. As always, you will find the link in the description. So today we're going to focus on where you put your adjectives, not what adjectives are in general. Va bene? Perfetto. So we were saying that most descriptive adjectives in Italian come after the noun. Let me show you this with some examples. Let's suppose you want to say the red car. In English, the red car is the article, the, red is the adjective, and car is the noun. In Italian, we don't follow this order. We have another order. So the red car in Italian becomes la macchina rossa. So essentially we are saying the car red. That's the correct order in Italian. As you can see, it's pretty different from English. In English you say the red car, in Italian we say the car red. Let me show you a few more examples like this. Allora, for example, if you want to say the happy children, how do we say that in Italian? I bambini felici. See, the order is different. Some more examples. If you want to say the delicious pizza, how would you say that? La pizza deliziosa. Perfetto. One more example. If you want to say the crowded streets, that would be le strade affollate. So remember, in Italian, we're basically saying the car red, the children happy, the pizza delicious, the streets crowded. I know it sounds very strange at first, but with practice, it will become more natural. So this is the general rule for adjective placement in Italian. Now, of course, we have some special cases, some types of adjectives that always or usually come before the noun. So we do have some adjectives that don't follow this general rule. So we're going to have a look at these too, so you know how to distinguish between these cases. So case number one, so exception number one. With some common short descriptive adjectives, they often, not always, but often and or usually come before the noun. What types of adjectives I'm talking about? I'm talking about adjectives that are usually short, common adjectives that describe general qualities like beauty, age, size, or goodness. So I'm talking about adjectives like bello, buono, vecchio, nuovo, grande, piccolo. All these adjectives are short common adjectives that describe general qualities. They will usually go before the noun, so they will be an exception to the general rule. Here are some examples. Let's see them together. Per esempio, if you want to say a beautiful day, in Italian that would be una bella giornata. So with bello, which means beautiful, we have the same rule as in English. We place that before the noun. That's because bello is a general, short descriptive adjective that talks about general qualities. It doesn't go into the specifics. Una bella giornata. Okay. Another example of this exception is old, vecchio. So if I want to say an old friend, that in Italian will be un vecchio amico. That means an old friend, a friend I've had for a long time. Perfetto. Un altro esempio, small, piccolo. That also follows this rule. This is also an exception word. So if we want to say a small problem, in Italian that will be un piccolo problema. Un piccolo problema. So these are short, common adjectives that describe general qualities. These usually, not always, but usually come before the noun. So they are an exception to the general rule. Now, this is the first group of adjectives that don't follow the general rule. But before we talk about the other ones, please remember that you can easily review all the rules we are learning today, the whole lesson, by using the PDF that I have prepared for you for this lesson, and you can download that by using the link in the description below this video. Ok? Perfetto. Continuiamo. Let's continue. Let's see some more special cases of adjectives that don't follow the general rule. So these cases that we're going to talk about from now on, they always go before the noun. So these are some specific categories of adjectives that I'm going to point out that follow the same rule that they follow in English. So they always go before the noun. So the first group of this type of adjectives is possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives are adjectives that tell you to whom something belongs. Again, if this sounds like some kind of weird jargon to you, I have some dedicated videos on all these types of adjectives I'm going to talk about. You will find the link to all my videos on adjectives in the description below. Va bene? Perfetto. So, possessive adjectives always go before the noun in Italian. Let's see a few examples. If I want to say my book, in Italian I will say il mio libro. So this is like in English, mio, which is the possessive adjective, goes before the noun. Let me show you another example. Your cat. That in Italian is, sorry, we're doing your, quindi il tuo. Il tuo gatto, your cat. And now I think I can hear you, and you may be thinking, Valentina, why my book becomes the my book? Why your cat becomes the your cat? Well, that's not today's topic, but I'm going to tell you, we almost always use articles with possessive adjectives. So we do say, the my book, the my cat. Again, I talk about this extensively in my other videos about possessive adjectives. So if you don't know why we do this, have a look at those videos. But just remember, possessive adjectives always go in front of the noun exactly as in English. Let's see some more adjectives that always go before the noun. Those are demonstrative adjectives. Now, I like to call them pointing adjectives because these are adjectives like these and that. So I call them pointing adjectives to make it more clear. Pointing adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, always go before the noun. So, for example, if we want to say this house, in Italian that will be questa casa. See, we place that exactly in the same place as in English. This house, questa casa. If you want to say that car, quella macchina. Va bene? Perfetto. Next category of adjectives that always go before the noun is numbers. Because even numbers are adjectives. So numbers will always go before the noun. For example, if we want to say 2 dogs, how do we say that in Italian? Forza, you can do this. 2 cani. Perfetto. This also applies to ordinal numbers, which are the numbers that give you an order. First, second, third. They also come before the noun in Italian. So if I want to say the first time, how do I say that? Let me type this for you. La prima volta, the first time. Perfetto. Last category of adjectives that always go before the noun in Italian is indefinite adjectives. These are adjectives that are used to express quantity in a general or imprecise way. For example, some, any, many, few. Those are indefinite adjectives and they always go before the noun. So, per esempio, if we want to say some books, how do we say that? Alcuni libri. If we want to say many problems, how do we say that? Molti problemi. Perfetto. So let's quickly review what we have learned today. We have seen that most descriptive adjectives in Italian come after the noun. That's the general rule for adjective placement in Italian. So that's why I'm going to type this short example as a recap for you. We say la macchina rossa. But there are some short, common adjectives that describe general qualities and they often, not always, but often come before the noun. That's why we say una bella macchina. Then we have some specific categories of adjectives that always go before the noun, always. Those are possessive adjectives, that's why we say la mia macchina. Also, we do this with demonstrative adjectives, that's why we say quella macchina. Numbers also are and always go before the noun. That's why we say, for example, due macchine. And finally, indefinite adjectives also always go before the noun. That's why we say, let's take a little bit more space, alcune macchine. Va bene? Perfetto. So guys, I hope this beginner-friendly guide about adjective placement in Italian has been helpful to you. Remember, like all aspects of Italian grammar and language learning in general, practice is key. So, pratica, pratica, pratica. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your fellow Italian learners. Also, I would love to see you practice what you learned today in the comments below this video. So try writing a sentence in Italian using different types of adjectives that we learned today. And if you want to learn more about Italian adjectives, check out all my other videos on this topic. You will find the links in the description below. Arrivederci e a presto!